At Toyota Orlando and Toyota Clermont, we've extended our payment reduction event. We want to help you lower your monthly car payment. You can drive a new 2025 Camry LE Hybrid for only $199 a month. Shop now at Toyota Orlando, I-4 near Millennium Mall, and Toyota Clermont on Highway 50.
Good afternoon. We're here in Treasure Island. Have a couple of important announcements. I'm joined with Kevin Guthrie. I know you've seen him a lot. Jared Perdue, Department of Transportation. General John Haas, our National Guard. We've got local officials, Commissioner Peters, Mayors Rector and Payne, and then we have Senators DeSigley and Hooper, and then Representative Jocks and Linda Cheney. I want to make sure people know. So, obviously the storm came in on the West Coast, really disabled the port in Manatee and interrupted in Tampa. So we have done a number of these fuel sites. People actually get free gas. Imagine that. So you can go in. So we've got 9 in the greater area, including like Sarasota, Bradenton area. So Tom Bennett Park in Bradenton, Plant City Stadium in Plant City, Central Lot parking lot in St. Pete, New College of Florida, Sarasota, South Florida State College in Arcadia, Charlotte Sports Park in Port Charlotte, Suncoast Technical College in Northport, St. Pete College, Tarpon Springs in Tarpon Springs, and then the East Bay Raceway in Tampa. So you can go to the floridadisaster.org/updates, and it'll have all of that on there, and you can see the hours. I mean, some of them are 7 to 7, some are 10 to 7 today. Obviously, at this point, they're all open, but you'll be able to see that, and those will remain open. Even though they're bringing in massive amounts of fuel now, those sites will be open. And again, it's free. It's 10 gallons, we're trying to say, just to get as many people through, but it gives you an opportunity to be able to do that. As I mentioned, Port of Tampa is bringing in a lot of fuel. They're not at 100% yet for operations, but they're doing a lot. We were anticipating Manatee was going to be out for a long time. Kevin and Jared, and we just really wanted to collaborate to get fuel coming in. So I'm happy to report that even though there's been significant damage, we've worked with the port, the tenants and operators to get things moving. And so you are seeing fuel now come in and be unloaded in Manatee at the port there. And a lot of people didn't think that was going to be possible this soon. So we appreciate collaboration and getting the job done. So far, just the state operations alone, we've deployed millions of gallons of diesel and motor vehicle gas. Florida Highway Patrol continues to escort fuel tankers throughout the state. They've escorted over 100 tankers since Milton made landfall. Power restoration. As of 3 o'clock, since the storm hit, 3.25 million accounts have been restored, and 818,000 accounts remain outstanding. Most of that is Duke and Tico in Pinellas and Hillsborough. Co-ops and munis have got very low numbers now, and FP&L statewide, they're under 200,000 for what they're doing. So there's only Hillsborough and Pinellas have more than 25% out. And Sarasota is now, I think, about 17% out, and Manatee is close to getting down to about 20% out. And I know they're continuing to work, and you see these trucks everywhere. I mean, you have, we've never had this many trucks before in the state, so we appreciate everybody that's been working on that effort. Here in Pinellas County, we fulfilled a lot of requests. We did 4 truckloads of water for the schools in Pinellas. We did 2,000 liters of water for their shelters. We did hundreds of tarps. We did pallets of water for Friends of Stray Animal Rescue. Brought in 160 ambulances, 8 boats, 2 high water vehicles, tens of thousands of meals ready to eat, 6 vac trucks at the staging area, 2 shower trailers for first responders, 4 toilet trailers for first responders, 2 comfort stations, 3 standalone cell phone charging stations, and 20 generators, and they're continuing to work and fulfill requests as need be. We have all airports except Sarasota Bradenton that's open for commercial. That'll be passenger. I think it'll be on Wednesday for Sarasota Bradenton Airport. We had over 50 school districts closed the end of last week. 40 of those that experienced closures will be back open on Monday. For the latest school information, you can go to fldoe.org/storm info. Now, we've seen great jobs with search and rescue. We had the Florida State Guard, got a couple hundred people in a flooding situation. I think it was in Pasco County. I know the local law enforcement have been working, but we've had some major post-storm water rises. We were in Plant City. You go into that part of Hillsborough County, you saw a lot of things still with high water. And so that's necessitated more rescues. And that's been great. People have done it, and we've had a lot of success. But we've also had a stabilization in those requests in the aftermath of the storm. And that's something that is good. I mean, we don't want to have to be doing this for weeks. That must mean there's a lot of problems. And I know we saw that in Western North Carolina. So it's a good thing that that's stabilized. We got the local folks. They've got a lot going on. But we also have a lot of ability in the state to continue to make an impact even beyond the search and rescue mission. So you saw coming in out here on Treasure Island, the thing you notice more than anything is not that necessarily lines are down or that buildings are destroyed. There obviously has been damage, but you just see so much debris. People have done the debris because their homes got flooded, the businesses got flooded, and then the furniture, or they had to gut the drywall, all this stuff basically became trash, and you got to have a way to deal with that. Now, leading into Milton, we knew it came on the heels of Helene. We didn't know if this debris would be a hazard. We thought it might be. It turned out probably wasn't necessarily as much of a hazard here because the storm's strongest winds were further south, but we put a lot of emphasis on let's supercharge debris efforts to get it out of here in advance of Milton. So we had 24/7 operations. We took a lot of our trucks from the state that does things. I mean, these guys help build your roads. So we've got a lot of jobs we're doing normally, but we paused that and then surged, and it was about a 72-hour. And I think just in Pinellas County, they did 40,000 plus cubic yards of debris for just this small mission. So that's really impactful and it's important. And I was glad to hear that, but there's still a lot of debris outstanding. And so we want to make sure that we get this debris done. Traditionally on these storms, the debris takes like a year, sometimes more than that, sometimes 9 months, but it just takes a long time. And a lot of it is paperwork. People are worried. A city's going to be worried about getting reimbursed for the cost. They hire contractors. FEMA has different requirements. You only get 75% normally with disasters. So then the locals got to come up with 12.5, and usually the state will take 12.5. But it just makes it things slow. So we want to figure out, we have been approved by the president for 100% debris removal reimbursements for 90 days. So we should take advantage of that. That makes it really, really positive to be able to do. But if it takes a year, then you're not going to get the bang for the buck. So we want to step up and help out in this effort on the state. Even though it's usually done by cities and counties, we feel that we do have some resources that are not necessarily being used right now, given the stabilization of the rescue mission. And we want to be able to bring it to bear to help our communities. So today I'm directing over 2,800 personnel from the Florida Department of Transportation, the Florida State Guard, the Florida National Guard, the Florida Highway Patrol, and urban search and rescue teams to continue work around the state on debris removal. We've committed 442 pieces of heavy equipment, 655 FDOT crew members, 4 debris pickup missions throughout the impacted area already. Obviously, we're focusing very heavily on Pinellas County, Manatee, and Sarasota, particularly on those barrier islands, but not limited to that. I mean, there's debris beyond that. In the 48 hours after Milton's landfall, FDOT picked up another 4,000 cubic yards of debris on state roads, and we're continuing to make sure those missions are complete. But we want to utilize the resources we have to get this debris done and help our local communities as much as possible. So I've directed Florida Department of Transportation to fulfill debris removal missions submitted by fiscally constrained counties within the impact area as well. We don't have as many of those because Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee, Sarasota are not fiscally constrained counties, but some of the ones interior and some of the ones in North Florida we know could qualify for that. So I don't want local communities facing these massive bills to think that somehow the job's not going to get done. It is going to get done. Now, Kevin Guthrie is going to talk about us working with FEMA to be able to utilize and leverage this money for cleanup. But he, under his authority as the managing official for this disaster, both of these disasters, is lifting red tape. Florida Department of Emergency Management is conducting direct permitting on new debris management sites to get that done very quickly. Florida Department of Transportation has suspended size and weight restrictions for vehicles conducting debris removal. And this is important. So we're happy to do that. We also want to make sure that all locals are on all hands on deck and that we're moving very rapidly across both city, county, and state levels of government. So we are going to require that local entities identify county, city, and special district properties for additional expedited debris management sites.
Right now, I'll show you what it looks like on one of our weather cams. You can see it and
Since 2021, the Global Citizen Festival has used that power to inspire people to end world hunger, and City has been a proud partner to shape.
At Toyota Orlando and Toyota Clermont, we've extended our payment reduction event. We want to help you lower your monthly car payment. You can drive a new 2025 Camry LE Hybrid for only $199 a month. Shop now at Toyota Orlando, I-4 near Millennium Mall, and Toyota Clermont on Highway 50.
Right now, we'll show you what it looks like on one of our weather cams. You can see a few rain shafts there. That is our little friendly wasp saying hi to us tonight. You can see, again, a couple rain shafts there with a couple thunderstorms along the Lake Southwest Orange County line. Temperatures down that way in the mid-80s, still 90 in DeLand and 89 up towards Daytona Beach. Live radar does show some increasing lightning strikes here through Marion and Sumter County, a few southern Sumter County, and a few now in Lake County, just outside now of Orange County. There's a look down at Ocala, down towards Interstate 75. Some pretty good showers and thunderstorms now. Watching the lightning in and around Bellevue along 75, and a little bit of a hail core here all of a sudden in southern Marion County as this storm is pulsing on up. We'll keep tabs on that for you as we go through the next hour or two. Here into southwest Orange County, over towards Claremont, a couple of rumbles of thunder here, 6 lightning strikes along 17 in the 429, just far enough away from the attractions that we are in good shape. Keynasville, Palm Bay, up and down I-95 in Brevard County, we are in excellent shape. We take a look at the 12-hour forecast, watching those storms off towards the west where they could have impact on your evening plans, especially in Marion, Sumter, and Lake counties. Overnight low temperatures tonight once the storms wind down, falling back into the mid and the upper 70s as we
Hurricanes Milton and Helene knocking out power for more than 8 million people in less than 2 weeks.
We've just hunkered through it.
From Florida to North Carolina, crews are still working to get the lights back on.
50,000 power line workers from 43 states and the country and Canada have stepped up.
And now President Joe Biden is announcing $612 million to improve the reliability of the electric grid in impacted regions. It's part of the more than $10 billion passed in the bipartisan infrastructure law back in 2021.
We've already gotten the majority of that money out the door, 65 different projects all across the country to build more resiliently.
The Department of Energy says those projects include replacing wooden electric poles with concrete ones and burying overhead transmission lines underground.
We need to do a lot more of that. And the storms are unfortunately only getting more intense.
And without further action, climate change could increase the risk of hurricane-induced power outages in some places, according to projections from the Energy Research and Development Institute, EPRI.
Some areas might see a doubling of the number of power outages experienced in a given decade in a future climate.
And the
My wife and I were crashed into by a careless driver, and attorney Dan Newland got us $1 million. Thank you, Dan.
Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 407-888-8000.
But first at 6, President Joe Biden spent the day right here in the state of Florida touring hurricane damage for a second time this month already. Today, he spoke with leaders in St. Petersburg and then flew over Tropicana Field, where the roof was torn off during the storm. This is something that everyone had been looking at during that storm. He also announced some more critical resources to help Florida recover after this disaster.
President Joe Biden making yet another trip to hurricane-damaged communities in Florida.
I'm here in Florida for the second time in 2 weeks, and to survey the damage from another catastrophic storm, Hurricane Milton.
Biden visited hard-hit St. Petersburg Sunday and met with residents and first responders. This comes just 10 days after the president was in Florida's Big Bend region surveying the damage caused by Hurricane Helene. He encouraged those affected by the storms and saying it's time to put politics aside.
Moments like this, we come together to take care of each other, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans.
Biden has frequently been in touch with Republican leaders, including the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. The visit comes as the president and other leaders urged Congress to pass additional funding for disaster relief programs.
My wife and I were crashed into by a careless driver, and attorney Dan Newland got us $1 million. Thank you, Dan.
Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 407-888-8000.
And by this afternoon, tens of thousands were still without power in Volusia County across multiple service providers. Duke Energy says that they're hoping to get most of their Central Florida customers back online soon. West 2's Haley Crumblehome heard from one of the linemen working long hours to help make it happen.
So this here is just one of the massive trees that Milton took down, and over here are some of the wires it took down with it. It can be tedious and hazardous work getting the power back, but crews are getting more homes online every day.
The thing went off like a bomb at 2:30.
That's how Douglas Bryan describes the sound of the transformer blowing outside his home the night Milton moved through.
My garage totally flooded. My little apartment is. It's just been a mess.
In his neighborhood in DeLand, the signs of the cleanup are clear in the piles of branches in people's yards. But for him, there's one constant reminder: there's still work to be done. He doesn't have power.
Haven't got it back on yet. It was Sunday. It's been 4 days.
Just 2 doors down, his neighbors had power restored Sunday morning.
Wonderful.
Duke Energy Florida said their hope is to restore power to the vast majority of their customers in Central Florida by midnight, Sunday into Monday. J.W. Bitzer is part of the Duke Energy team working to get power restored to DeLand residents like Brian.
I get to see people's lights come on. It's a great feeling because you're impacting them, you're impacting their day.
He's a journeyman lineman, and he's been working to get the power back on since the storm hit.
16-hour days, 5 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night.
The power company says they have people working around the clock to get power on and keep it on. Fitzer spent Sunday clearing branches that could fall on lines and potentially knock out power again. He's trying to get as many customers back online as he can.
But honestly, it's a great feeling when you see the lights come on.
Brian is hoping his home will be one of them.
Can't wait till it comes back on.
Duke Energy Florida says there are certain homes it will take longer to restore power to, like those that are dealing with flooding issues. And they also said that in some of the harder hit areas like Pasco and Pinellas County, they're hoping to have power restored.
At Volkswagen, we take safety seriously. Seriously.
Team coverage continues with West 2's Michelle Meredith. She went to Volusia County checking in on families that dealt with flooding after Milton and found a subdivision in South Daytona where almost all the families are dealing with the look, feel, and smell of floodwaters in their own home.
When we started shooting video of the Troop family in South Daytona trying to pick up the pieces of their lives, they said they felt like they were a part of a reality show. But in reality, it's more like a scary movie. This is the fourth time their house is flooded in the Lantern Park subdivision. Wow. That's your swimming pool?
That was our swimming pool.
It first flooded in '94 with Tropical Storm Gordon, 2004 with Charlie, again with Ian, and now Milton.
I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter. We'll fight, we'll clean up, we'll do what we need to do, and we'll make it. We'll make it through.
Now, folks in the subdivision tell us they think at least 80% of the homes flooded. There are rows and rows of trash, things once valued, now ruined, pictures that once adorned walls, now stacked up on the front lawn.
Had to save the house. We weren't going down without a fight. Refused to do it.
And then there's Marshall and Crystal Smith, who got creative, used every sheet, towel, face cloth, linen they had to block water from coming in the house. Marshall took bucket duty in the garage.
6 hours, from 2 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning, keeping it from coming in the house.
And well, basically, it worked. Most their homes stayed dry.
So this year, we saved.
But down the street at the Troops' house, when it came to material things, there wasn't much to save, except their pride.
We're true Floridians. We will rebuild. I love my country and I love my home, and this is where we're at. So we'll prevail.
In Volusia County, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
Can't get out during the day? With complimentary Ford Mobile service, we can go just about anywhere to take care of your vehicle.
All right, this just into the West 2 newsroom. Hurricane Milton has caused the cancellation of Country Thunder Florida. Officials with the music festival say they are just unable to safely hold the show. It was set to be held October 18th through the 20th at Osceola Heritage Park, but the show will now reach out to ticket holders within 30 days to talk about refunds.
At Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont, we've extended our payment reduction event. We want to help you lower your monthly car payment. You can drive a new 2025 Camry LE Hybrid for only $199 a month. Shop now at Toyota of Orlando, I-4 near Millennium Mall, and Toyota of Claremont on Highway 50.
Our team coverage begins in Volusia County, one of the counties hardest hit here in Central Florida.
West 2's Michelle Meredith joins us live. And Michelle, that county was hit really hard and still dealing with flooding right now.
Well, and it's so spotty. And here's a perfect example. At this point, the road is dry, very drivable. Then all of a sudden, there's a road closed sign and a small lake pops up out of nowhere. Oh boy. You know, it's tough times when rather than risk stalling out your car in floodwater, you ride your bike. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's still the case in some parts of Volusia County. There are the familiar sights and sounds of flooded homes. The guts of this house now tossed out like the trash because it is trash. And of course, for some, Hurricane Milton is round 2, thanks to Ian.
The drywall on these walls aren't even 2 years old yet.
Heartbreaking?
Heartbreaking. That's a good word for it.
You put a lot of love and stuff into that, trying to build and everything like that, and just for it to be gone in, hours. Terrible.
All this framed around a different twist. In Port Orange, a Florida Power and Light substation is sitting in 3 feet of water, affecting thousands of customers.
Fortunately, it's not active. There's no power flowing right now. So, fortunately, it's not a danger for people. People have been driving through, but we definitely don't want anybody to approach the facility. And the same with lines. We don't want anybody to, if they see something, just stay away from it.
Right down the street from the power substation lives Robert Sorensen, walking in ankle-deep water that once was in his house. Aren't you upset, mad, something?
Well, now I'm resigned. Getting mad, I don't know who to get mad at. You can't get mad at God for a hurricane. You can't get mad at the city.
Now, Florida Power and Light, believe it or not, they say they can get this substation going again, get it running, and they are working on it right as we speak. But they tell us they just don't know when they can make it happen. Live in Volusia County, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
I'm here to personally say thank you to the brave first responders. I don't want to underestimate that. Brave first responders. Men and women in uniform, utility workers. So look at the number that showed up from around the country. From Canada, California, Nebraska, all over the country to come here to help. Men and women in uniform, as I said, healthcare personnel, neighbors helping neighbors, and so many more people. This is all a team effort, folks. You made a big difference.
To the Credit Karmaverse, a place where financial progress can happen at the speed of delight. Here we help you achieve your money goals fast, like improving your credit scores in a matter of days fast, so you don't have to wait around to see your hard work pay off. Oh, well done. Simply scan your screen to experience Intuit Credit Karma for yourself.
Our tide's going out. When the biggest dangers is when tide starts coming in. You'll get obviously the tide coming in and the river coming in and just swells.
Explain to us what we're doing right now.
So right now we're taking our boats onto a patrol. We're checking water depth. We're checking to make sure that nobody is stuck in their houses. So as we'll drive around, see if anybody's flagging us down. We'll also be able to check and see whether or not how deep our water level is while we're out here.
So if somebody was stuck in this house and they wanted to get out, how dangerous would it be for them to swim out?
To swim out inside of a current can be very dangerous. As we were talking before, you're not going to be able to fight the power of the water that's going.
You can see it go here.
Yeah, this will push us down. With the amount of people we have in this boat, trying to swim it becomes very dangerous. If you're running in swift water, you want to keep your feet up and you want to be able to go with the current until you can identify slower moving water where you'd be able to actually swim and not have the amount of pressure pushing you.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Atrium Health on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
In the hands of both of their parents, twin brothers Amari and Javar leave the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for the first time since they were born conjoined last September.
My first 2 nights, I cried. I woke up crying because they wasn't there.
Shanika and Tim Ruffin knew their twins would be born conjoined, so the first goal was to ensure a safe birth. With the nature of the conjoinment and CHOP's history of success in separation surgeries, the Ruffins felt some relief.
The chests were not joined. Their hearts were not joined. They had separate normal structure function hearts.
Energy changed, and that changed all of us, like for like how confident it was and how positive it was.
The twins spent 10 months in the hospital prior to the surgery, learning how to feed and grow outside of the womb, while their surgical team of more than 24 specialists worked on a plan.
I was more so like overwhelmed with like joy and excitement. A little bit of nervousness because it is a surgery, and I feel as though them being so young is still like scary.
The actual surgery lasted 8 hours. The outcome, a success.
When the ending is happy and joyous, that fulfills us in a way that constantly fuels that sense of humanism that we want to infuse in the type of care that we offer our families.
There's one thing that we've heard before is that whether people
Congrats on your new place. It looks amazing.
Want to know a secret? I got it with 1% down.
What? How'd you get a house with only 1% down?
I used One Plus by Rocket Mortgage. So instead of paying 3% down, I only had to do 1%. They added 2% to my down payment.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it saved us a lot of cash so we could afford to buy sooner.
Okay, I love the idea of being able to afford a home sooner, and I could definitely swing the 1% down.
And have some cash left over to buy me a real plant. Start your approval process today.
On the Gulf Coast, that's the west coast of Florida, areas south of where Hurricane Milton made landfall, many homes simply look like this. Milton ripped the roof off of this home last night. The home is in Northport, Florida, near Sarasota, which was under evacuation orders. Cheryl Bernatowicz lived there. She joins us now. Cheryl, how are you doing? What was your first thought when you found out how badly damaged your home was?
Hi, Jake. How are you? What you heard was about the flood, the flood, the flood. So we really prepared for the flood. And then when we left home and when we got back this morning at 4:30, it was absolutely devastating. Only because we just went through Ian and the same exact thing happened with the tornadoes. So to see and it actually ripped the concrete right out of the ground. Like the posts for the carports, they totally got ripped with the concrete out of the ground. And the whole entire roof just got completely tore off.
It doesn't sound like there's anything you could have done to prepare for such a thing. Am I wrong?
Right. I didn't know tornadoes were coming with this one as well.
Yeah.
But apparently they did.
But even if you'd known, I mean,
like I said,
a tornado is a tornado, right? I mean, there's nothing you could, even if you'd had the
right.
knowledge.
Not much you can do.
Right. How much help have you gotten from local and federal officials so far, state officials as well? Are they there? Are they on the ground? Are they helping?
They're not. No, nobody's here. And when you go on the line, there's no. They're not putting this hurricane up yet. So my brother had to start me a GoFundMe page because we just got finished paying for $50,000 for the damages we got from Ian, which was only 2 years ago. We just finished that 2 months ago, and we got hit all over again.
We see you're in a car right now. Where are you now? Where are you staying? Where are you going to stay?
I'm up by my clubhouse because by my house there's no service and it's not coming in clear.
Your brother says you couldn't
the clubhouse
afford.
of my community.
Okay. Your brother says you couldn't afford insurance. Do you see yourself?
Right. The insurance is way too high.
Yeah, no, that's a real problem in Florida. So many insurers have just left the state. Do you see yourself continuing to live there?
To be honest with you, I don't want to. When you go through it so many times, it's my 4th hurricane and 4 times I've gotten demolished. So after that, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It really does.
I'm told that you have 7 rescue animals. Are they okay?
They're all okay. Thank God. They're all perfectly fine. I know it's a lot, and it's a lot to take them when you have something like this going on. It's hard to keep them all safe and take them along with you. But yes, thank God they're all okay.
What kind of rescue animals are they?
I have 4 dogs and 3 cats.
And you just brought them in the car with you?
I did. I brought them. I brought them all with me. I left them in cages, and I went to a friend's house, and I put them all in the garage.
Okay. Well, I'm glad they're okay.
Who are going door to door and seeing if anybody needs help. We're in a community that's on a golf course right now, but you wouldn't be able to tell that because it looks just so underwater, like a massive lake. Now, all the people in this community have been evacuated, but they say that they're rescuing lives into the thousands, and especially after Milton, that work continues.
How bad is it in your house?
Look at it. It's going to my furniture already.
Wow. So what are you gonna do now?
I don't know. That's we thinking about. See what we're gonna do because we can't stay here.
Can't stay here.
No, I don't lost everything, so it's not.
You've lost everything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
After so many years struggling, finally got my session and got my stuff in here. And back again with the struggle. And we're here.
But you're here. You survived.
Yeah. Thank God nothing happened to us. There's more people that's worse than us. So.
Your family you could stay with?
Yeah. My daughter.
Okay.
She told me to go down that way.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Thank you for
But
spending.
I didn't want to leave my stuff.
I know.
That's
it's hard. This is your life.
Yeah.
These are your memories.
Yeah.
These are the things that you've
acquired over a life that I'm sure hasn't been easy.
No. I was in the street for 3 years and it took me a hard time to get where I'm at. Yeah. Back again.
How bad is it in your house?
Look at it.
In North Fort Myers, a horrific sight in the rising waters.
Oh, that was a big alligator just bit our tire.
An alligator emerging from the floodwaters, biting at this car's tires.
Wow. That was cool. Yes, you did. Wow. That was a big too. Oh my God, I wanted to go.
Safety here. People said that this portion of Clearwater is considered an evacuation zone D. So a lot of these people hunkered down and stayed. So they said that they didn't expect this. I mean, even just showing the water line, you can see where the water sits up to the high tires on this Humvee. Safety here. People said that this portion of Clearwater.
Flooding after Hurricane Milton in Florida.